Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Carmelo Lattuca in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Let's take a look at the forecast because we are talking about temperatures heating right back up on Sunday. It was certainly comfortable out there today. Felt a little bit more like late May or even late September. No matter which way you look at it, though, it did not feel like July out there today. So we're going to take a look at the Lincoln Weather Almanac, see what our temperatures were across the capital city. 67 degrees for a morning low temperature. That was right around average for this time of year. 79 degrees, though, for a high temperature Saturday afternoon. The average high 90 and nowhere close to that record of 111 degrees. We're going to move on to the precipitation almanac here, and we're going to see that we didn't see any rain out there today. Unfortunately, we certainly could still use the moisture. We're now running just under half of an inch above normal for the month, so July running on the wet side. However, we're still running on the dry side for the year, almost 5.5 inches below normal for precipitation. We've seen just about 11.20 inches, about 11 inches and 2/10. We should be over 16.5 inches for precipitation at this point. It's been very dry for parts of the year, very wet for others, but doesn't matter. Any way you look at it, we're still running below normal. Low temperature-wise, we were in the 40s, 43 degrees out in Chadron earlier this morning. We were up to 67 degrees, though, in Lincoln, Beatrice, as well as in Falls City. Those were the warmer spots. And as we take a look out of our Skyview cams, a mixture of sun and clouds depending on which Skyview cam you're looking at. North Platte and O'Neill, plenty of sunshine out there. Omaha and Lincoln, a little bit more cloud cover, a little hazy out there today as well, with temperatures in the upper 70s. It does feel like 79 degrees, but it's 77 at the airport, 77 at the studio. Winds are out of the north-northwest at right around 3 miles per hour. Visibility, though, down to 8 miles. It's kind of due to some of those hazy conditions as well. Now, as we take a look at temperatures across Lincoln, ranging anywhere from about 75 to up to 78 degrees overall, and it's pretty similar across much of central and eastern Nebraska, actually, but where we're not seeing the cloud cover, that would be far northern and far southwestern Nebraska, we've dipped into the low 80s, so 80 in O'Neill, 80 in Ainsworth, 89 in Chadron. That's the warm spot out there right now, but once again, 74 degrees out in Hastings. Dew points, it's about as comfortable as it's ever going to get for July. We're talking about upper 40s to upper 50s and low 60s, 57-degree dew point in Lincoln. Just can't beat that this time of year. So our feel-like temperatures, if anything, they're a little bit lower than our actual temperatures. For example, 89 in Chadron feels like 86 degrees. Winds are variable out in the direction and in terms of wind speed as well. Calm in Beatrice as well as in Nebraska City. Out of the north here in Lincoln at 3 miles per hour. Out of the southeast in Grand Island, Kearney, Lexington, 5 to 15 miles per hour there. No wind gusts to be reported at this time. Not really expecting any breezy conditions out there tonight or into the day tomorrow. We're going to move on now to satellite and radar. You're going to notice that it's mainly cloudy across much of central and eastern Nebraska. We do have some shower and thunderstorm activity off into our south, and we even have some severe thunderstorm warnings off to our southwest, as well as off into the east. Not really expecting any severe weather, not only here in Lincoln, but across the state over the next 3 days. Talking about our weather alerts, unfortunately, we hate to see this, but the flood watches and even the flood warnings continue down to our south in Oklahoma and Texas. In terms of the air quality, though, those are the gray shaded areas off to our northeast, especially in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Their air quality is in the unhealthy category. We were in the moderate category earlier this evening. You kind of smell the smoke in the air. Fortunately, though, the worst of it is expected to remain off to our north and east. But as we move on to our Storm Prediction Center outlooks tonight, general thunderstorm outlook in western Nebraska, but most of the state can expect it to be quiet. As we head into the day on Sunday, thunderstorms are possible across northeastern portions of the state, maybe dipping down as far southeast as Lincoln, not expecting any severe weather. And then on Monday, more widespread general thunderstorms expected, or at least possibly out there. Northeastern Nebraska quiet, severe weather expected to remain off and to our north. So as we play out Skycast over the next few hours, we should be mainly quiet. We could see a few passing clouds, but the cloud cover is expected to decrease as we get into the late evening and overnight hours. We'll see a few passing clouds out there tomorrow, and then you'll notice in central and eastern Nebraska, especially northeastern Nebraska, tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m., we have some shower and thunderstorms trying to fire up, maybe making their way into Lincoln tomorrow evening. Really not expecting widespread rainfall. Similar conditions expected on Monday, except the rainfall chances will be in southeastern Nebraska as well as off and to the west, where we could see another line of showers and thunderstorms. Flash flooding not expected Sunday, Monday, but on Tuesday, we could see some flash flooding in northeastern Nebraska. We have an isolated risk there, and a little bit more widespread as we go into Wednesday afternoon and evening as a front is going to stall out. And you notice that much of the central United States, along with the Great Lakes region, under that isolated risk for flash flooding. Precipitation potential over the next 3 days, as we wait for the colors to pop up here on this graphic, not going to be very widespread. You're going to see some locations trying to get up to a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch, but over the next 3 days, rainfall just not expected, not very likely for that matter, over the state of Nebraska. So we're still waiting for this to come up here, but maybe again up to a trace to a tenth, up to a quarter of an inch, maybe up to, yeah, I would say a trace to a quarter of an inch looks to be the best right now in northeastern, central, and perhaps southwestern Nebraska. Not expecting much in central and eastern Nebraska. Now, as we go over the next 7 days, that's going to be a different story because we're going to have a front that's going to stall out over the region as we go into late Tuesday, into Wednesday, into Thursday, and then pretty much quieting down on Friday. Now we're talking about half of an inch, maybe up to an inch, maybe up to an inch and a half of rain, so certainly a little bit more in central as well as into eastern Nebraska. Playing out Skycast, though, as we take a little bit of a closer look at the state, notice again, decreasing clouds, pretty quiet out there tomorrow. Watching out for those showers and storms late tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. Can't rule out a strong storm. Really not expecting any severe weather. Heading into Monday, a little bit of a better chance, I think, compared to Sunday for rain here in Lincoln, just according to this model. And then we could see some rain off into the west as we head into Monday evening. Let's move on now to transition now to our temperatures. Upper 50s to mid 60s overnight tonight. It's going to be comfortable. Open up those windows. It's going to be great to just turn the AC off. We're going to have to turn it right back on early tomorrow morning, and early because we're expected to be in the upper 80s to low 90s by the time it gets to the afternoon. Monday low temperatures warming up as well. We're talking about low to mid 60s, close to average for this time of year, and then mid to upper 90s expected on Monday. Tuesday morning, we're getting closer to 70 degrees for morning temperatures. And then Tuesday afternoon, notice the cooler conditions beginning to build in. Shattering, Valentine dropping to the mid to upper 80s. Most of us, though, in the mid to upper 90s, close to 100 across the Nebraska-Kansas border. Wednesday low temperatures, we're still on that warming trend, at least to the southeast, into the low to mid 70s. Off to the north and west, we're dropping down to the 50s, and you start to see the effects of that cold front as early as Wednesday across much of the state. We're talking about upper 60s in northern Nebraska, 85 still in Lincoln, 89 degrees though in Falls City, and it'll be even cooler as we get into Thursday, down to 79 degrees. But the warmest day this week looks to be either Monday or Tuesday. Small rain chances Sunday through Tuesday. Rain chances going up Wednesday and Thursday. Coolest conditions look to be on Thursday at 79 degrees, at least here in Lincoln, warming right back up to 90 though by the time we get to next Saturday. It looks like Monday and Tuesday, not only here in Lincoln, but across the state, looks to be the warmest temperatures. We're talking about mid to upper 90s, right around 98 degrees out in McCook. On Wednesday, we're talking about upper 60s to mid 80s. So it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday. So Monday and Tuesday are going to be the warmest. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the coolest, warming right back up statewide, essentially, as we get into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now we're talking about 19th through the 22nd of July. For dew points, it looks like it's going to get more humid as we go into the next few days. So the lack of humidity today, that's not going to last. So Sunday through Wednesday, dew points in the 60s and 70s. We do dry out as we get into Thursday, dew points back into the 40s and 50s. So Thursday really looks to be a comfortable day, similar to what we saw today. And then it gets to be more humid, though, as we go into especially Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday the following week. So we're talking about the 20th through the 22nd. Precipitation chances, 10-20% chance as you go into Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, we start to see those chances bump up, especially off into northern and northwestern Nebraska. Most of us are going to stay dry. I think statewide, we have the best chance of seeing rainfall on Wednesday, continuing perhaps into Thursday, maybe even Friday. But Wednesday looks to be the best day right now, and early indications are that we could see some more rainfall or rain chances developing as we get into Tuesday the 22nd. So certainly not as much rain as we have seen over the last 7 to 14 days for that matter. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, above average temperatures are expected the 20th through the 26th, so this is going to mean 90s. We're likely going to be in the low to mid-90s across the state. Precipitation-wise, we have a little bit of variety here. Drier than average conditions in south central and southwestern Nebraska, near normal conditions across central, northern, and eastern Nebraska, and then maybe slightly wetter than average conditions in the far northeastern corner of the state. Once again, though, I want to remind people that we're going to heat right back up out there tomorrow. Really hope you enjoyed the day out there today. It was comfortable. It was cool. A little hazy, a little smoky. That should be ending as we head into tomorrow as well for the most part. But temperature-wise, we're going to be in the 90s tomorrow through Tuesday, cooling down through midweek, and those rain chances will return as we get into Wednesday and into Thursday as well. Have a great night, everyone. Make sure to stay hydrated. It might not be as warm out there as it has been or what we expect it to be, but make sure to stay hydrated over the next few days as we return into our temperatures with the 90s. Have a great night once again.